Hi everyone, this is Mix from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed review on the LeBron 18 Low Higher Learning. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also be leaving a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope that you're able to join us because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit, and it's also where I hold my monthly giveaways. Then if you haven't already, please make sure to sub to the channel because it really helps us out quite a lot. Then with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Mi Planche and LeBron collaboration on the LeBron 18 Low Higher Learning. The LeBron 18 Higher Learning is actually a collaboration with LeBron and Mi Planche, who is a designer. I don't really know a lot about fashion, but I do know that she has her own brand, and it does seem like she's having quite a bit of success with her clothing line. She does try to mix in a lot of different cultures and a lot of different perspectives with her fashion, and it is kind of because she's experienced a lot of different cultures as well, because she was originally from Africa and she moved to California, and then I think she's now based in Harlem. So as you can see, she was exposed to a lot of different cultures, and that is what she tries to do with her designs. I think it was said that when she designed the shoe, she was really trying to put the student aspect and the athlete aspect together, which is why you have this sort of varsity jacket inspired design on the LeBron 18 Low. I do think though that it does send a really good message, because a lot of people think that if you're a good student, you're not a good athlete, or if you're a really good athlete, you're not a good student. And I think this shoe is a symbol that you can kind of strive for both. I mean, LeBron is one of the best basketball players of all time, but you do see this like sort of high school themed shoe that is really focused on that school vibe, and it's why it's called Higher Learning. And for the LeBron 18 Low in particular, I actually wasn't planning on picking up a pair. However, I did peep at the review by Gio of Unorthodox, and I was kind of convinced that, I should definitely go out and get one. So definitely a big shout out to Unorthodox, because, if not for him, I guess I would have just passed on these completely. And I'm definitely happy that I didn't and ended up getting a pair. So to see what's different between the LeBron 18 Low and the LeBron 17 Low, and even the regular LeBron 18s, let's take a look at the tech specs. So starting off with the traction, the LeBron 18 Low actually has almost the exact same pattern as the regular LeBron 18s, with that sort of crosshatch or waffle pattern here on the forefoot, and that milk crate traction pattern here at the midfoot and heel. The only differences between the traction on these and the regular LeBron 18s is that you have this sort of splat here at the forefoot, but the other difference that you can notice is that there are more cutouts here at the forefoot, and this won't really affect the traction, but it does have an effect on the cushion. But before we get into the cushion, since the traction is pretty much the same as the LeBron 18, it's gonna work pretty well. The only thing is that, especially with these thin lines here at the forefoot, it won't be the most durable. Then moving on to the cushion on the LeBron 18 Low, even though it looks like it has the same tooling as the regular LeBron 18, it actually doesn't have full-length zoom. Instead, what you have is a pretty similar cushion setup to the LeBron 17 Low, where you have Nike React here at the forefoot and an Air Max 270 unit in the heel. The Air Max 270 unit here at the heel does feel pretty similar to the ones on the regular LeBron 18s, but the major difference can be felt here at the forefoot because, like I said, there is no full-length zoom, so it doesn't really feel as bouncy as the regular LeBron 18, but when you compare it to the LeBron 17 Low, I think it is so much better. The LeBron 17 Low also had React here at the forefoot, but it did sort of feel a little underwhelming, especially at first. But with the LeBron 18 Low, I just kind of tried these on in store, and they were definitely super soft and just super comfortable. I mean, it's one of the best React midsoles I've felt on a basketball shoe from Nike. I know it is a pretty big claim, but it's definitely how I feel whenever I put my foot in the shoe. Then for the materials, the LeBron 18 Low will definitely not blow your mind in terms of the materials. They are definitely a lot more plasticky than the regular LeBron 18s with that knit, since you have a pretty much all ripstop upper. Ripstop is a little bit more of a plasticky material, so you can kinda hear that, but it does have its specific advantages. One advantage of ripstop is that it is super lightweight while still being very strong, and I think that does bode well for the LeBron 18 Low, because the original or the regular LeBron 18s had a fully knit upper that did have a tendency to stretch out a little bit too much on side-to-side movements. So I think with the ripstop on the LeBron 18 Low, since it doesn't stretch like knit, you'll have better containment and lateral support. Then here at the heel, it is pretty interesting because it kind of feels like a cheap suede or a felt, but I guess it was part of the design because I think it was meant to mimic a varsity jacket. So it definitely feels kind of varsity jacket-esque, but you know, I still would have preferred if they used a premium material. But it is what it is, and it still feels pretty good to the touch. Then speaking of the tongue, I think aside from that ripstop having more lateral support, this is the biggest improvement of the LeBron 18 low compared to the regular LeBron 18s. The tongue on the regular LeBron 18 had a very thin kind of fused tongue that would just cut into your leg and like rip apart your socks. And that's definitely something that turned a lot of people off. But I am happy to say that they improved that tongue with the LeBron 18 low because you do have a ripstop tongue, but it is backed by some foam and some neoprene underneath. It also is nice because that foam does have cutouts, so it is breathable while also being adequately padded. Then for the last few materials, you do have a little bit of chenille here at the swoosh, as well as those patches here on the medial side, and then you also have a nice and padded neoprene sock liner. Then for fit and sizing, I did go true to size with the LeBron 18 low, and it fits me pretty 1-to-1. The regular LeBron 18 did fit a little bit long, but you know, you couldn't really go down half a size because if you did, it would be too tight. And then with the LeBron 17 low, you did have that one-piece tongue, and it was just super hard to get your foot in the shoe, and it was also super tight, so I definitely recommended going up half a size or even a full size in those. But with the LeBron 18 low, I think it is the best fitting one out of the three. The only thing to note about the fit on the LeBron 18 low is that it is super padded here at the heel, which does make it feel a little tight at first, but once you start using these and breaking it in, the padding will sort of conform to your foot, giving you a better and more comfortable 1-to-1 fit. So my recommendation for the sizing is that if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, go true to size. Then if you are a wide footer or if you have a normal foot and want a little bit of a looser fit, you can definitely go up half a size. And then for the aesthetic details with this colorway, given that it is a collaboration with Mimi Blanche, there are quite a few interesting bits and pieces. For the outsole, the rubber is a mix of maroon and red, with the maroon being the more dominant color all throughout, and the red being on that splat on the forefoot. You also have those cutouts at the heel which kind of expose a moderator plate for the air unit, and then at the midfoot you do have a pink LeBron crown logo. Then moving on to the midsole, that maroon rubber does come up here at the forefoot, and you can't really see any react except for these small pieces that are peeking out on the lateral side. It is pretty much a double-last midsole here at the forefoot, so the only cushion you can see is that Air Max 270 unit here at the heel. And above that, you have that plastic piece for support because, you know, that air unit is large, so it just makes the air unit a lot more stable. Then moving on to the upper, that ripstop that pretty much comprises 3/4 of the shoe is this white, and beneath the main layer, you can actually see some cutouts where you can see some pink. The middle part of the midfoot panel and the middle of the forefoot are a little bit more clear though, which means that when you're wearing this shoe, you can actually kind of see through the material and see your socks. Then for those fuse overlays, that rand here at the forefoot going to the toe is this white, but for that fuse that goes in sort of an X around the midfoot, it is this nice bright red with some white stripes. Here at the back, you have that yellow felt, and then on the tongue, it is predominantly maroon, with LeBron's signature in gold at the top of the tongue. Then for the branding on the shoe, you do have a chenille swoosh here on the lateral side, and it is quite interesting where they placed the swoosh. It's more towards the forefoot and not like the other colorways where it's more towards the midfoot. And honestly, even though I really like that chenille swoosh, I kinda wish that it was more towards the back, like the other LeBron 18 low colorways. Then here on the medial side as well, you have these patches that are actually sewn onto the upper. Then here at the back, you do have a debossed Nike swoosh, as well as this sort of tiger patch here on the lateral side of the heel. Then here on the insole, it is pretty nice because it is a maroon insole, and it also says just a kid from Akron. Then for the last aesthetic detail, it is the laces, because it comes in this sort of pale green, which is pretty interesting because there isn't any green anywhere else on the shoe. But the shoe does come with extra laces, and it's actually 2 pairs, because in the box it does come with an extra pair of white laces as well as maroon laces. I do like the overall aesthetics of the LeBron 18 low, and the main reason why I didn't get it is because I thought it was kind of repetitive having this and the LeBron 18, but it does have its differences between the regular LeBron 18s in terms of looks as well, and it definitely has something different to offer. The colorway itself is also pretty awesome in my opinion. It definitely gives you that whole varsity jacket look, which is what the designer of the shoe was going for. My favorite feature in terms of the aesthetics would definitely be the chenille swoosh, because I really did love it on the LeBron 7 MVP, which had a similar swoosh. So here with this colorway of the LeBron 18 low, since it has that same swoosh, I enjoyed it a lot. I also really like that color combination with that white, maroon, that red, and that gold, because it really just gives you that university vibe, and I think they took that concept and Mimi Blanche took her inspiration for the shoe and really executed it well. Then for the LeBron 18 low, it retails for 8,295 pesos here in the Philippines, or $170 US. It is quite a bit cheaper than the regular LeBron 18s, and honestly, I would definitely pick these over those. Because for one, even though it is lacking that full-length zoom on the LeBron 18s, the LeBron 18 Low still does have a pretty amazing cushion setup. And second, they fixed that damn tongue because it is no longer fused and it'll no longer chew up your socks. I also would take this over the LeBron 17 Lows because they fit true to size and they don't have that one booty upper that's just impossible to put your foot in. And the cushion on these, even though they're kind of exactly the same in terms of tech specs, is much better than the 17 Lows. I did get my pair over at Titan, so you can go to them in store or on their website, but these are also available on the Nike website, so you can also order from there. As far as I know, they are available in pretty much all sizes, so if you want the shoe, I don't really think you'll have too many problems getting it. So there you have it guys, that was my detailed review on the LeBron 18 Low Higher Learning. Once again, if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.